Guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm Vidya and today I'm going to show you what's in my nursing station, or what used to be in my nursing station when I was breastfeeding my son in the first 2 years of his life. If you're someone who's nursing or planning to breastfeed or even bottle feed your child, you'll know that initial few months you'll be confined to a space. So it's good to have a few things on hand so that you don't have to bother someone to fetch you things. Over the course of my nursing journey with my child, these are the things that used to always be by my side, and even setting up this to show you guys is making me feel nostalgic. So this is just a handy little cart that used to be by my side when I was nursing, and after we stopped nursing, it was his bookshelf for all his baby books. And now that his books have become too big to fit in this, it's now back to being my bedside table. So it's a handy little cart that I just got from IKEA, but it's very versatile. So I'll give you an overview of the whole thing. But in my nursing setup, like a very important part of my nursing setup was my nursing pillow, the Boppy, which I've spoken about in my essentials videos. If you haven't seen those, most of these things are in those videos as well. But the Boppy pillow was a lifesaver for me. It helped me get a good position when my son was breastfeeding, as did this chair. So when you're looking for a place to breastfeed your child, especially if you're breastfeeding, if you're bottle feeding, it's a little more easier. But if you're breastfeeding, you want to look for a chair or a place with a high back, like with a straight back that goes all the way to your head, so you can rest your head while you're nursing. And also you would want some kind of arm support so that when you're holding your child, your arm does not get tired. It goes on for like hours, so you want to be as comfortable as you can. Also, a footstool really helps. So this chair comes with an ottoman that I used to use all the time. Sometimes I would use a small pillow if my back was hurting, but mostly a high-backed chair like this, a rocking chair with some kind of support, should be comfortable if you're nursing. So let's get into the nursing station. In this little tray, I would have things for me, like a big bottle of water, because nursing used to make me super dehydrated and parched. It takes a lot of water to make breast milk, so a big bottle of water, sometimes warm, but mostly just regular, and some snacks, because it takes a lot of calories to make breast milk, right? So we have to kind of replenish ourselves. So when I was nursing, I would just have some crackers or some protein bars, easy to reach for. And also my medication, like right after delivery, I was on a little bit of painkillers for I think 5 days or 1 week. Next, I have some, I would say, skincare and sort of grooming stuff for both my baby and me. I have some Cetaphil or any lotion that I used to use for him. He was born with extremely dry skin. He still has dry skin, but I used to use coconut oil or almond oil all over his body. But on those especially dry spots, Cetaphil or something like this would do the trick. I have some coconut oil that I've used all along my pregnancy and through breastfeeding and even now. So for stretch marks, like after delivery when that skin is loose and dry, I used to use this to hydrate, and it used to really help with the itchiness, and also for my son, of course. And even after nursing, when you're cracked and sometimes dry, it's better to apply some coconut oil. Like they gave me lanolin at the hospital, which was for cracked nipples, but coconut oil I felt did a much better job, and it's completely natural. I didn't have to be paranoid about it getting into my son's body when he was nursing. And I have some lip balm. I also have some hand sanitizer, this nail grooming kit that I have in my essentials video, so check that out. It's basically a set of nail clippers and some tweezers and stuff. Because once he used to fall asleep on my lap, it was the perfect time for me to get those little sharp nails cut, which is why I used to have a little lamp next to me, so that after he goes to sleep, I would turn it on and kind of give his nails a little trim while he's still asleep on my lap. Then I have gadgets. I have my phone and my earphones, and of course my charger. Very essential, because every time my son would go off to sleep, almost all the time I would be on my phone just looking for stuff, frantically reading all the parenting forums and learning about, trying to see what is normal and what is not. I think all parents do that. So my phone and my charger were like absolute essentials. I also have a little remote for his, so he had a little baby mobile projector thing. So I would turn on this. It used to have some music and light, which would be on the on the top of his mobile. So that was a remote for that. I also had a little burp cloth or a little napkin to wipe off things, so easily reachable. The section below it is a little bit empty because I don't have my big pump in there. So when I came back from the hospital, they sent me home with a big hospital grade pump, which was, I think, more powerful, more efficient in establishing lactation. So that used to be there for the first, I think, 1 month. And then I had my pump that came through the insurance, which was a little bit smaller, but I'll insert pictures and links of all of them. And then later, when I was traveling, I used to use a small Philips Avent hand pump, which was also quite efficient. It was only a single pump, so you had to pump both sides separately. So all that pumping gear would be in there. Also a couple of bottles to actually feed him. So if I'm just busy pumping and someone else is going to feed, I would have a couple of sterilized bottles in here so that it's ready to go. And also some cloths, some burp cloths that I would, multi-purpose. These are just muslin squares by Aiden and Anais, and these are so amazing. I have used them every single day for the last 3 years, I can say that for sure, and we still use them. I have some wipes just in case I need them, and some tissues. And now let's get into the bottom section. In this, I have some things that were nice to have because I wouldn't use them every single time I nursed, but in case I needed them, they were good to be handy. So this is some nasal spray. This is basically saline spray, which clears up stuffy noses. Like I said, I didn't use this frequently at all, but once in a while it was good to have. Like in the middle of the night, if he would have a stuffy nose, I knew what I needed. Then I have the nose Frida, which is like a nasal suction kind of a contraption, which is very handy to have. So I would spray some nasal spray in his nostrils and then suction it out with this. Very rarely when he was a newborn, but more often when he got older and he had colds and stuff, this would be a good place to kind of hold him down and get those nostrils clear. Then I have some Mylicon, which is anti-gas medicine. So this is like an antacid. So Vikrant used to be a little gassy in the initial few weeks, like all infants are when they're getting used to all the milk in their system. So we used to have Mylicon on hand, and I think some gripe water as well. So in those days when he wouldn't be able to sleep because he was so gassy, I used to give him a few drops of Mylicon before he went to bed. It used to soothe him a little bit, I felt. And I also have a thermometer. So I had a regular thermometer when he was a newborn. It used to work just fine. But when he was a few months old and started to wiggle out of my reach when I would try to check his temperature, then I started using this one. But a regular thermometer worked fine as well. And then I have some syringes to give him the medicine. The Pacidose is something that I loved in the first year of his life. It's basically a syringe that's attached to a pacifier. So you push the medicine in, and this part is very soft, so the baby doesn't even know that they're getting medicine. So it makes it very easy to give them medicine initially. So we used to use this every time we had to give him medicine. And I have a couple of blankets. These are also muslin blankets by Aiden and Anais, which I bought when my son was a newborn. I think before even he was born, I got these, and we've been using them since then. They are wonderful. They get softer as you wash them. They hold up beautifully, and they're so natural, and the texture is amazing for them. I still have these. We have them in the car in case he's cold, so we use them all the time. These were again a wonderful investment. I also have one of my baby carriers. This is not the one we used to travel with. This one is kind of like a sling, but it's pre-stitched, so you don't have to tie anything up. You just have to slip it on like a t-shirt. I'll put some pictures, but it used to be very comfortable. The material is very soft, and I used to wear this and kind of sit in this chair and rock my son to sleep. So it used to be good for that. So it comes like this in two kind of interlocking circles, but you kind of slip it on and put the baby in one of the openings. It was very cozy for him, and I think baby wearing is very soothing for newborns like 0 to 3 months, and it's kind of convenient because it's easier on our back and my hands were free to do other things. So this used to be right next to me. And lastly, I have some books. I have one book that I was reading or trying to read when he was little, but I didn't get much far with that. But it used to be there in case I wanted to pick it up. And I have some books for my son. Some high contrast books used to be in here as well. Some indestructible books which I've spoken about in my book related videos. And I have a Curious George, kind of a puppet book that he used to enjoy. And a crinkly book, something that makes noise that little babies love for some reason. And a toy or two would be in that bottom shelf as well. So those were the things I had in my breastfeeding / pumping / feeding station, because when my husband used to bottle feed my son, he used to be here too and completely enjoy his time. So I hope you found some of this useful. I think the key is not to have too much stuff, but then it's better to be more prepared when it comes to these things, because you'll be stuck in this place for a while and you want to make this less stressful and more enjoyable as much as you can. I hope your journey is going well, whether it is breastfeeding or pumping or bottle feeding, formula feeding, whatever it is. I hope you're having a good time, and I'll see you in another video of mine. Until then, take care. Bye.